Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And as you're deciding to come out of Babylon, you're probably going to have to, at some point or another, buy a tent or live in a tent. At least to go camping or tabernacles. So, this is a video on how not to put a tent up and what kind of tent not to get. Number one, do some research and make sure that the tent is waterproof. I bought this on kind of a lark. It was an expensive lark because it turned out to be a PayPal snafu. You know, they approved it on credit and then they started charging my bank account and blah, blah, blah. Long, stupid story. But anyway. Some of the poles are busted. Number one, if you're going to put any tent up, dome tent, I don't care what it is, stake it down really well. Learn how to stake it down. I'm not going to go into it right now. I've covered it before a little bit, but you want to put the stake angled in toward the tent so that the guy line is, not going to just flip off. And it's not going to flip the rod around like this one here. See, turn that around, guess what happens? Boom, cord slips off. I mean, I can do that with my foot right now. It's off. So, and not that you can tell what you're getting, but, basically get a tent that is, has, so some information with it. Buy one that you've heard somebody else has set up and has success with. I'm looking like that's the rainfly. I mean, the rainfly is not even waterproof. What's the purpose of a rainfly? Hello. So it doesn't get wet. That's the reason for the plastic, which just added weight to it. The wind, tore it up. So if you're going to stake a tent down, stake it down correctly. Do it yourself. I had a brother do it that, maybe he'd never staked a tent down in his life, and I should have done it myself, but it was, getting late, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's a lesson. The two teepee tents that we had set up over there, the Winterial took a beating from the wind, and it pulled up stakes, finally. Lasted, it'd last 10 times longer than the Tahoe gear. But one point on both of those is that they both have one single solitary, very heavy steel pole that's in sections and has cables and springs that makes it, pop, 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 pop. Very similar to your bungee corded fiberglass poles that this has. Okay? So you can hang a teepee tent from a tree branch, and you can run a rope between that tree and hang it from a rope. You could cut a pole out of wood, hickory, pine, cedar, whatever, out of the forest. Oak wouldn't make any difference. And use a pole on site. A lot of people do that, even with teepees. Up in Idaho, they have a whole batch of poles hung in the trees, ready to go. They can hike one day, get there, set their teepee up, hike another day further in, set their teepee up, hike another day further in, set their teepee up. So, Frank Church Wilderness area. So I've been told. One of the reasons why I ordered a 16-foot Cheyenne teepee was because it can be backpacked. One person carries the teepee itself, the skin, what you call the outer layer of the skin, and another person carries the liner and stakes and other accoutrements, since the liner's lighter than the skin. So anyway, rule of thumb, I'm just going to say, if you're thinking of buying a tent, get something that's real, which I've always said. Buy the best, forget the rest. And in this case, I broke that rule, of my own rule. I just bought a tent sight unseen with no research. I figured since it had 6 poles that it would be good. Well, no. The poles are light. The rainfly does not buckle down to the base. It just has little teeny lightweight bungee cords. Well, that is completely, utterly worthless in a wind. And it proved to be utterly worthless in the wind. The other thing that we didn't do was we didn't finish staking it down and finish guying the rainfly down, and that would have helped a lot. There's about 6 or 8 of these, maybe 12 of these, that would guy it out, which is a lot of added hassle. But if in a wind, which was what happened, 20, I think it was pushing 23 miles an hour that night, it did not stand up to it at all, for a good reason. It wasn't built to, number one, and number two, it's just we didn't finish the job of putting it up. So, note to self, buy real. Buy once, buy right, never have to buy again. Right, girls? Yes, sir. That's it. Do it right the first time. Dirtfoot. That was the training acronym for ABF, Arkansas Best Freight. Dirtfoot, DITRF. Do it right the first time. So, get that message through all of our heads, we'll be better off. So, right? What do you think? Yeah. And they're saying, where's our food? Where's our food? Well, too bad, too bad, too bad. You'll get it eventually if you haven't already. Aylin. There's the mutt. Can I see him? I can't quite see my screen, but I've got the camera pointed at him, so he's in there somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Aylin, buddy. How you doing? Alrighty. That's an Akbash, and you don't mess with goats when an Akbash is around. That's his job, is to protect them. And they do. So, alrighty. Oh, there's a Veil laying down there. I want to come into the tent. I want to come into the tent. She may turn out to be a halfway decent dog after all. She was not doing anything with the goats at first. Anyway, this is Jerry Diamond. You've listened to this. You are the remnant. Buy right, buy right, buy once, buy right, never have to buy again. Do it right the first time. Buy the best, forget the rest. Some of the Ozark Plateau directives. This is what you want to be doing. Uh-oh, he's having fun. Okay, assuming that's a guy. Alrighty, so, and like I said, there's a busted pole. There's at least 2 busted poles. So, such is life when you do something stupid, and I did. Several things with this. This was a mess from the start. Alright. And I had forgotten about the waterproofing. I had contacted Camping Max, which I bought some equipment from, and I told him the price on it. They had 6 poles. You might want to carry this. And he's like, for that price, it will not be waterproofed. So, very important. Waterproofing is very important with a tent. So, if you've never been in a leaking tent, or a tent where you got the floor about 6 inches deep in water, you have something to look forward to, an experience to look forward to that you'll never want to duplicate. Alrighty. Especially when the mattress doesn't work right. You're using an air mattress, and when someone sits down on it, it flips the other person into the water. Boom! Launch. Freezing cold water at Tabernacles. Not fun. Alrighty. Goodbye. Thank you.